Hey everybody, let me flip this camera around. Hi y'all, Joy here from Steven's Suburban Homestead. I'm sweaty again today. Welcome Funky Dave, welcome your viewers that are watching later, replay. Hello Vero. So today I wanted to just chat for a minute about the crazy flooding in the Kingwood area and the Houston area. We are just barely northeast of Houston, and we're near the airport, and luckily we only got a little bit of water that flowed through our garage. Hey Cherie, my heart goes out to several friends who their neighborhoods are flooded still. Not only Kingwood, but there's a place called Cypress Wood. Hey Great Laura. There's a lot of people over in the Meyerland area that flooded again. I have a girlfriend, work acquaintance, who's flooded 2 years in a row. So, yesterday I watched Mare. Hey y'all, thank you. We just got minor flow through is what I would call it. It flew through because the water got kind of high. Flows through one corner of our garage, which is very inconvenient, and it's actually not good for our slab and whatnot. But after seeing some of my girlfriend's houses with a foot deep, I need to get it in perspective. So anyway, yeah, luckily for us, it actually went. It literally flows right through the corner, so it's kind of weird. We have like 3 fans that we put on in there, and we have a dehumidifier. Anyway, the water got really close to the front of our house, and we have a couple of, extra solutions. I feel like it's a little bit of a battle here because we're high, and when we moved in, everybody said you'll never flood, but thank you. But what happens is the water drains this way because our gully, let me show y'all. In the back here behind our fence, there's a huge gully that gets like halfway full. And so we get a lot of water. I'll just point through. We get a lot of water that flows through here and goes between our garage and our apartment back there. It's the apartment Grandpa lives in. And then the upstairs, you can see the peak there. We rent that one out for Airbnb. Well, anyway, let's talk about what's next. Because we really are okay. This is Chloe's PlayStation during the storm. So I don't know how many of y'all are in Houston. I can see some TXs on your names, but please chime in and let me know what you're doing between the rainstorms. Let me show you one more time, DFW. So y'all had hail a couple weeks ago. You can see it's sunny right now. So it's kind of weird, but what that is a huge blessing for everybody because we haven't had rain for over 24 hours. The rivers are still getting higher, and they're still over Hamlin. There was a road out of the neighborhood Craig usually goes through, and it's completely flooded over. So we had to take a different way to work for 2 days in a row. And so anyway, what we're going to do now is I registered with the American Red Cross. So if y'all have time like us, I can be doing things around here, but I can also be helping. The problem is they're so overwhelmed with the first responders, that's why they call them first responders, right? That they haven't gotten back to us. I don't know if their system's not catching up or they just haven't gotten there yet. So I'm just waiting. And frankly, by the time I hear back, if it's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I won't be able to help because I have plans then. So for y'all, I recommend if you're already registered at American Red Cross or you live near like the Houston Food Bank or you know of a church because you just know of a place that's taking people in, to maybe call directly. Out here in Kingwood, because we don't have really bad flooding yet except on Hamlin, I don't think there's anything really set up like a shelter. The saddest part about this for the people in Hamlin, they flood about twice a year. And they live in stilted houses, like beach houses, but sometimes it gets so bad that it actually gets in their house. I think last year it did get in some of the people's houses 20 feet up. Sounds crazy, but it's true. But I think those people must have resources. Yeah, oh, okay. I didn't know Louisiana flooded too. What parts, y'all? So the second thing you can do, here's a homesteader's perspective. First, we're praying. We've reached out. I've offered my apartment to a couple of girlfriends. Okay, Hammond. Minnesota. Yeah, it's kind of like your huge snowstorms around there. If you need something to compare it to, where, people cancel school and they can't get around. The roads are blocked. Except I don't think you have many snakes, alligators, and mice running through your snow. So these kids that love rainstorms down here, I mean, all the snake holes are full. There's no places for the mice to go. And what happens with the gators is, gators, no, not at all, I bet. Frozen snake. The weird thing about gators, if you're not familiar with it, is that during the day, they just rest on the shore. But, like, the San Jacinto River is, I'm not kidding y'all, like 50 feet. So, like, if you know where the normal river is, look, I'm doing this, like, y'all can see me. But if you know where the normal river is, like the bank, it's like 50 feet of water up. Sometimes even more than that. Like, crossing Hamlin means that the river's over, it may only be 50 feet high or 20 feet over its banks, however they do that. But the water just flows up the road. So you could have, like, a football field worth of space that's covered in water. Well, guess what? That's the alligators' laying spots. So those gators and alligator gars and larger fish that hang out near the side there, they have nowhere to go. They're looking, that's why they end up in golf courses in people's backyards, because they're literally just kind of following the trail of the water to get to a bank to lay on. They don't actually lay around swimming all day like fish. All right, I digressed way far. Anyhow, so let's think about homestead. If you have a homestead or if you have a garden and you've experienced and you've exhausted being helpful, or maybe you cannot be helpful for one reason or another to other people because you have your own children or your own flooding, or you have, well, obviously if you have flooding, you wouldn't worry about your garden. But I think you know where I'm going with this, okay, y'all? My yard, I need to be here until Red Cross calls, and I also need to be here when Chloe's home. And since we are expecting 2 more inches of rain today, frankly, I also need to be here to check our drains. Part of the reason our garage floods is the drain in the very front gets plugged from other people's debris, and so I have to be able to take that grate off to make sure it drains so we don't get into Grandpa's apartment. But we took the opportunity, and this could be not for torrential floodings. It could be like, we just had a nice good 2 inches of rain. What could I do? Well, work with the rain. There's an old saying about let the tool do the work. So let the rain do the work. If you know you're going to be fertilizing, get your butt out there like I did this morning, and so I'm all pinky and hot even though I have a pink shirt on, and put your Epsom salt out. Done. Yeah. Get your Epsom salt out. Get your cinnamon out on, I have some pots that have ants growing in them. Well, I don't want to kill the things that are in the pots, so I could do diatomaceous earth, or I could put cinnamon, which powdered cinnamon ants hate. It will not kill them, but it'll move them. Most people use powdered cinnamon in their house to get ants out of their kitchen or away from their doors, but I have found that they'll move about a foot or 2 away. Well, guess what? If they move out of my pot and on my pathway, let me show you. Let's see. Come on now, just tap my head. Here we go. Come on, tappy tappy. Okay, this pot is the culprit. So if I put cinnamon in it, then they'll move into this pathway and I can kill them with boiling water. Hoo-yah! I love killing ants. So the other thing is we have some plants around here, some palmetto palm bushes, which have pretty deep roots. And I talked my husband into giving me 30 minutes of his time, and we went out and we pulled them out of the ground, and it was like butter, because it rained 4.5 inches in one day. So we weren't in the rain. We're not crazy. But after the rain stopped, like I've been showing you, it's sunny. We went out there and we dug up the palmetto palms and moved them. We had a whole bunch. I'll walk you over and show you. Who wants to look at my face the whole dang day? Okay, so here's one of them, this spiky palm. It's that really nice 1-foot root. How would you get rid of nutsage? Are you sure you meant nutsage, or did it auto correct? I don't know what that is, babe. Uneducated homesteader. Oopsie. Okay, so, or I'll have to Google it later and I can always message you back. Here's one of the other palmettos. The ground was just so soft. So it was awesome. The other thing we moved is we had these spiky plants. If you've ever had these variegated, I think they're liriope. If you have liriope, so like these 3 plus 1 more bunch just like this were all in one bunch in the front in the rose garden. So I convinced Craig, it took him 5 minutes, literally, to pull all this out. And then I gathered them into pretty bunches. That looks very natural. And then we planted them. It took 5 minutes to pull them up, 5 minutes to put them in. Boom, done. And then around the pond, I'm planting ground cover. So that's the same thing. The ground was so wet. We did that. We moved one of these random Mexican heathers. So that's another idea. If you haven't fertilized, or if you know, for instance, you've had a heavy rain, a lot of times the phosphorus, like my tomatoes are already forming. I've already got eggplants I've pulled out of the garden. So if you know that phosphorus or calcium's washed away, put some eggshells out for the next rain to soak it in. Put some bone meal out. Whatever intermediate fertilizing you think you might need. Here's what Epsom salt looks like. Usually you're supposed to put it on wet, but I know it's going to rain today, so I just put the crystals in. It's never burned anything. So I think that's pretty much it for my tip. I mean, praying gets you really far. Volunteering is great, but around your own homestead, take advantage of the not so hot weather to do some harvesting, some moving, some weeding. I did weeding yesterday, and the weeds just pop right out. So hopefully that'll help you make the best of a gushy situation. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I pray if you've been affected in your home. The diatomaceous earth is to kill bugs. So those squishy caterpillars, I can't think, maybe they're called tomato bugs or hornworms, yeah. I wouldn't put the diatomaceous earth out right before rain because I'm afraid it might wash it away, versus like an Epsom salt or the fertilizer usually sticks pretty good and soaks into the roots. So I would wait until after rain. Yeah, oh, thanks. It's only through trial and error. It's more like lessons learned. Yeah, and right now I'm not really treating the ants except for maybe that one pot. I walked around today when I was doing the Epsom salt and checking out the orchard to see how many peaches had fallen off, because we not only had rain, but it was like really hard downpour and lots of wind, and I lost about a third of my peaches already. Wah, wah. So I saw like 30 ant beds, and they're big because they're not in the ground. Ants live under the ground. The ant beds we see are when they come up because it's too wet, or who knows why the other reasons might be. Mostly it's wet. So I'm going to have to wait to do the diatomaceous earth and boiling water. I mean, I guess I could boil water today, but I'm too tired. You could boil water and do that anytime. But the problem with boiling water is it kills everything around it. So we don't do the boiling water unless it's in like those rock paths, or if it's in part of a garden bed where there's nothing growing next to it. So you put vinegar in the ants, because I hate ants. I'm always looking for new ideas. I use the vinegar to kill weeds. So how you just pour it straight on, or do you do like a baking soda volcano type of action, or what? I'm very interested in the recipe. Spray bottle. Well, how does it get down to the queen then? Do they just hate it and they all just go away, or does it kill them? So I use a vinegar, liquid detergent, 20%, okay, and salt, it kills them, for my weeds. Well, the Walmart of all places, so weird, I don't shop at Walmart much, but the one Walmart over here in Kingwood, if anybody is around the area, has that for like a ridiculous price. Or maybe they actually had like a 9%, which is more than the regular, but not quite the 20%. 20% is super awesome. Number one, might be worth it. It's out of our budget at an acre and a third. Now, if we had a regular yard, the 20%, I think we could afford it, because I used to have like 1 or 2 ant beds, but now I have 20. So I don't think, I think at the 20% gallons, where I found them, estate sales, huh, okay, it's cool. I found them in Houston anyway, they're like $30 to $40 a gallon versus like $5 a gallon for the 9%. So I've been using the 9%, yeah. So people, if money is not an issue, or if you have a small enough space, I mean, it's always better to go natural, and we do. I think what I've traded some trouble. So the 9% doesn't work as well, or it doesn't go as deep, so I end up having to reapply it a little bit more often, but it still ends up being about half the price as less than half the price, even with like a double treatment. So anyway, that's really exciting to hear another way. I actually went and look on Pinterest and Google again, because I had gotten what I perceived to have gotten all these ant beds kicked, and then this huge rain came, and I'm just an idiot to think, and I don't normally say that about myself, because I think we all need to love ourselves and know we're awesome, but I had an idiot moment thinking that I had killed the ants, like, ugh. You know, I don't think we're ever going to kill them. And I don't mind them so much in the yard, especially if they're, you know, on the periphery. But what happens in these rainstorms is they pop up everywhere. They're everywhere, and I don't like them in my gardens. I just planted beans about a week ago because I knew the rain was coming, and I was I won't call it lazy gardener because I'm not lazy, but it's like smart, efficient gardening is to plant your stuff before a rainstorm or rain comes to save yourself from having to water every single day all your seedlings or all your seeds. So anyway, yeah, I would say that you don't even need to kill the ants unless they're like near where your kids, dogs, or you walk, or if they're eating your plants. And they may not actually be eating the plants, but the fact that they build that mound, this dianthus over here, although it looks as good as it's ever looked, it's like 90% covered by ant. It's ridiculous. Anyway, thanks for chatting with me. I feel like this last few minutes was just chatting, but hopefully it helped people get out there and do something. I think redcross.org is also taking donations. I know a lot of us have, you know, a little bit of money, but, you know, we don't have the time if we're working full time or we have several children or if we have other responsibilities. But just reach out, even like I think you can even text like a $10 donation or something. All right, well, hey, we're going to be driving through Dallas-Fort Worth. Not the whole family, stalkers, not you. Just Clo and I are going to be heading through to see Grandma and Grandpa. We're going up to Oklahoma, and we were gonna go through Waco to go to that Chip and JoJo's shop. What's it called? Magnolia? I know Waco's not through Dallas, I get that. But we were gonna like go visit our family and have lunch with my bro, whose birthday was yesterday. We were gonna go visit him for lunch either on the way or on the way back, and then we were gonna go through Waco, a different route. I'm excited to go see that Magnolia store. I don't know if I'll buy anything, but I sure as heck want to go. And Chloe actually asked me if we could go meet JoJo, 5-year-old. How cool is that? All right, peace out. 35 or 75 in Oklahoma. They are off of 35. They're up near Ardmore. And my other brother, they're not named Daryl. They're actually Derek and David. That's funny. My other brother, Derek, he is a county sheriff up there in Carter County. So proud, so much fun. They have 40 acres up there, and they're doing some gardening, and Chloe and I are going to help the cousins and Grandma. She's already planted like the cooler stuff, but by the time we get there in a couple weeks, we're going to plant the warmer stuff. Thanks! Well, I'll go in, I'll try to follow you, Miss, let's see, Great Wailoro? Yeah, okay, peace out, bye-bye. Yellow, oh duh. Great yellow.